Has anyone seen Miss Tiffany Shepis? She's missing again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another jam-packed action edition of the end of the night. You know, Joe, I just realized, can you guess why I really love our opening credits?
Can't put my finger on it.
You know why I really love our opening credits? Because I realize that if we play them, my show is going to be at least a minute long every week. And sometimes I'm like, I hit the minute mark. I've made it, you know.
Oh, I don't know. With that intro, you said it was going to be action-packed. I was wondering if I had to do my own stunts again.
I figure do you remember when Daffy Duck tried to upstage Bugs Bunny and he blew himself up on stage? I think we're literally at that point with this program. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight on this lovely Sunday evening. I'm here up in the woods of Pennsylvania. I also want to thank, like I do every week, our wonderful sponsor, Film Hub. If you are an independent filmmaker or a film student or just a lover of film, you could seek out Film Hub to get your films distributed on viral platforms. They do an amazing job. They're extremely honest, and they're a great company to work with. They hold 4 of my films currently. So if you are an indie filmmaker, look into Film Hub. And Joe, what's that wonderful company that your beautiful wife and daughter are working on?
Oh, I know this. Wait, give me a second. Hearts of a Mystic Folk. Check out their line of awesome all-natural scented wax melts available in a variety of fun and seasonal scents. Christmas is coming, folks. Act now.
And, sorry, go ahead. You look like you were about to say something else.
No, I just have to keep switching things with my glasses on and off, which is a pain in the ass.
Now, before our show starts, this is just a new development. As many know, the lovely and talented Miss Tiffany Shepis was supposed to join us as Grunkle Scott Schiaffo's replacement as a co-host this week. Well, Grunkle Scott was at Saratoga Comic-Con with all the Clerks guys. It looks like they had a great time, by the way. But sadly, oddly enough, what most people don't know, because it hasn't hit all the news wires yet, is that the lovely and talented Miss Tiffany Shepis was sadly arrested. Yes, there's her mugshot. She was picked up in Salem, Massachusetts, for going 5 miles over the speed limit on her broom on Interstate 95. So we will set up a GoFundMe page to make sure that we could spring Miss Shepis so that she could make our Christmas show if we invite her. So
I didn't realize she was that tall.
Yeah. Oh no, she's a good 6 foot, Tiffany. So. So sadly, Tiff won't be joining us tonight. She's chained and shackled somewhere, which is just called a Sunday for her. And hi, Ken. I hope you're well.
Ken was disappointed about that. I know he was.
Yes.
I read things.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Ken. You know, she said she was coming, and actually something popped up, so she couldn't make it. What was I going to say? So I wanted to get your thoughts, Mr. Ridgely. Since our last show, the big Spider-Man trailer has premiered. Did you see it, and what did you think?
I saw different variations of it, and I really wasn't impressed with the last Spider-Man film. So I'm not excited about this one whatsoever.
Not a big Tom Holland guy.
No, it was the whole freaking Mysterio thing, the last one, and then them outing Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and it was just I don't know.
It kind of has a feeling of like, and I think this was intentional, but they have kind of a feeling of contemporary John Hughes films, and John Hughes and Spider-Man films just should never be a mixture that anybody should have ever have contemplated. I mean, the Raimi films were brilliant. The Andrew Garfield films were good, popcorn fun movies, and I just don't know. It looks like it's going to be a long movie. I guess he's talking about Spider-Man. Hello, CJ. I hope you're well.
Well, from what I read, is they actually had to recut and refilm the movie because with Marvel getting pushed back due to COVID, one of the movies apparently were supposed to tie in the Spider-Man, so they had to reshoot a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a big tie-in between the new Spider-Man flick and with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And the MCU finally got their heads out of their asses and hired Raimi to direct a movie. So that should be a fantastic film because, he's a talented filmmaker, something that usually the MCU lacks. So that's going to be super, super duper exciting. I started... we did some final shots for my upcoming film, Full Moon Fever, Mr. Ridgely. That was pretty exciting. I got, as you know, Grunkle Scott and I worked together about 3 weeks ago, and that's his lovely young lady, Carrie Werner. I hope you're well, Carrie. I don't know if Scott's home yet. If Scott's home, tell him to get his ass on here. It's like he's missing work. You tell him to punch. Oh, look at those handsome fellas. That's usually the way I look at Scott, oddly enough. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? No, that's actually a wonderful scene. And Scott was just really, really pulled out some wonderful performance. And I hope you have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving, Carrie. Joe, what's your plans? I mean, the big day is literally 4 days away. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Doing what we do every year. Go to my parents' house for dinner and then have my wife's side of the family over for dessert.
Oh, nice. Are you guys going to literally eat her side of the family, or are you guys going to eat dessert with them?
Option?
Well, it sounded like that. You're like, we're going to have them over for dessert. Like you were literally going to eat them because you didn't like them. And it was going to be like a little Hannibal Lecter action on Thanksgiving. You were going to eat them, have them for dessert.
Sounds like an episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Yes, actually, it kind of does. I'm just going to have some family over. I actually think Mr. O'Halloran is going to be over for Thanksgiving and his lovely lady Diana. So I'm excited. Thanksgiving's going to be fun. And Christmas.
And your daughter's home.
And my daughter's home. She came home on Friday. And she's here till Monday. So I'm a happy dad. I'm a tired dad because I'm out doing fun stuff. I'm just looking at myself and I'm like, wow, I look like shit. So
no, you always look that pasty.
I do. I always look this pasty. That's very kind of you. I got a cool Fright Night shirt on tonight. What do you think of that bad boy?
Sweet.
Yeah, you like that? A little Peter Vincent, a little Amanda Burse, and we're going to have a Fright Night show coming soon, so that should be a lot of fun. And I'm talking about the 1985 Fright Night, not the schlocky crap since then. So stay tuned for information on our big Fright Night episode. We're going to have two of the stars of the 1985 cult classic right here on the end of the night.
And Tom too?
No, Tom. Sorry. No. Here's for people out there, the two people who are going to appear on our show also appeared in 1985 in a movie together. So they did two movies together in 1985. So that's anybody who's really...
It's got to be Amanda and Steven.
Well, there you go. Look at you. Yeah, they did Fright Night and I can't remember what the other movie was.
Some comedy.
Yeah, He was Steven's big studio break where he was the star of a comedy movie that had... God, I'm getting... Who's the guy from Shawshank Redemption?
Tim Robbins?
Yeah, it was Stephen Jeffries and Tim Robbins. Stephen Jeffries actually got first billing. Uh, I wish somebody would. CJ, you should be on this, man. Who the hell? What's the name of that 1985 Stephen Jeffries comedy? Somebody dig that up for me so I don't look like an idiot. But which is virtually impossible for me because I'm a buffoon. With that, without further ado, our guest tonight is a great independent filmmaker, and I know that he's appeared in several films and has written and directed films, and is a fellow Pennsylvania guy like me, and from what I understand is just a great guy. We've interacted a few times on Facebook. He was helping me out with my virus documentary, which is still, I wanted to release the virus documentary movie when the virus was done. So, that movie may never see the light of day because, the virus never seems to end.
So the virus has to be done in order for it
I
to
think
be
it would be
released?
a much more impactful movie to see, a movie called Quarantined about the virus would seem to have a little bit more of an impact in a world where we're still not kind of quarantined and worried about the virus everywhere we go. But be that as it may, Joe, I know you know him too. So let's introduce the wonderfully talented Mr. Loren Lepre. Hi, Loren. How are you?
Going on, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely our pleasure. I like your background. Is that like a fireplace or is that like a stone wall behind you?
It's a rad wall with my CBGB's background. I like changing my background up a lot. Like no one. I just think it's I don't know. I like constant change. So
I hear you. Did you ever get to go to CBGB's?
I did. I got there late. I started going in like the flip of the century. So I was there a lot. Sundays they did the hardcore matinees, which means they started around 5:30. And when you're, where I live here, like close to Philadelphia, so it's only about an hour to the tunnel. Then you're at the tunnel's mercy. But it's not too hard once you get through the Holland Tunnel, and we literally get there at like 5:36. Watch a show. Show would end around 10:30. And we'd be home by midnight. And that was like our Sundays for a long time. So the last show was in 2006. And Patti Smith closed it. And I'm a GB's expert. The first person to ever play CBGB's in 73 was television.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That movie was Fraternity Vacation. Thank you, CJ Robles. I went to LaSalle Academy, which was on 2nd Avenue and 2nd Street, and CBGB's was just literally a short walk away. And I remember I started LaSalle in 1984, and it was back when Joey Ramone and the Ramones would play there all the time. And an already established, she wasn't even playing under Blondie at the time. She was playing under Deborah Harry.
Wow.
That was a cool place. Did you ever go to McSorley? Oh, Joe Ridgely just disappeared. Did you ever go to McSorley's?
No, I can't say I went there, but I can tell you also the first time I went to CBGB's, when I came back, my car looked weird. And someone broke in the trunk of my car.
Wow, that sucks.
And they stole a hoodie. And at the time, I was kind of a thug guy. They stole my baseball bats. That's it. I was just like, so, and I went home and I reported to my insurance. So like, we don't cover trunks, like the locks in your trunk. So I had to get like a whole new lock and stuff. But I felt that was kind of properly like introduced that way.
So as an independent filmmaker, just much like myself, when Loren was a young man, who were some of the filmmakers that inspired you to ultimately want to become a filmmaker?
Well, all right. So if you really want to go through my history, I'd never really wanted to be a film guy. Like everybody, I think everybody sees themselves like, hey, I'd love to act someday. Like that was as far I was like sold on WWF, WCW, into ECW. Like I was so into wrestling, like that's all I wanted to do. And I wanted to play for the Philadelphia Phillies. So, update everybody. I didn't get a chance to play for Philadelphia Phillies. So, but oddly enough, living up in Carbondale, which was close to the Scranton area, when the ECW started coming up to the CYC, I started talking to people behind the scenes, and I basically started coming to the ECW arena. One thing led to another. I met a promoter. I started working kind of behind the scenes, helping that promoter do work for ECW, but I didn't officially work for ECW. But, I'm doing work for the guy that worked for ECW. That's the best way I can explain it. So I eventually started managing a guy named Garrett Dominance and Independence. And we kind of looked at like, we're right at the door. We do work for ECW. Like there's nothing guaranteed, but we're like, hey, we're at the back porch. And then the Monday Night Wars end and ECW falls, WCW falls. And we did I did indies with him till 2004. And like I was legally a Walking Dead after that. I'm like, there's 200 named wrestlers trying to get, that were established people, yada, yada. And I lost hard for it. Then I started doing amateur stuff with like trying to get into the MMA stuff. I've been around martial arts a real long time, but I never fully dedicated myself. I was just kind of a guy that wanted the most out of life. I make sure every day matters. And one of the things I always had was a bucket list. So I ended up seeing a flyer on South Street for a movie that needed extras as a zombie.
Oh, sweet.
And I went and did that for a day, and there was no pay, but there was kegs of beer and and free food. And I watched the set, and I got chills, and I fell in love with that. And I said, I'm doing this. And then when they wrapped, I went up to the director. I was like, I want a bigger role. I don't want to be just a zombie. Can I do something? He's like, it doesn't really work like that. He goes, "Do you have any acting experience?" I'm like, not really. He's like, you should probably go to an acting school. So I ran to Walnut Street Theater in Philly, got some of that, and I just came out swinging. I mean, I didn't know where to go. I was basically, looking on Craigslist. I didn't know and I'm like picking up all these little roles. Some were nightmares. Like I didn't know, but I just started getting experience as an actor. Even the stuff that didn't ever surface, it's still acting work. You're still getting some experience. And little by little, I started realizing like, I have a little bit, I didn't understand who was who. I didn't want to step on anybody in Philly. But I started realizing I have a much larger network. Like people were like, we need this type of building. And I'm like, oh, then we could shoot. And I'm like, you don't have access to that? And I'm like, well, I do. I was like, I could help out here. So it's just because I was a guy that was always out and social. And that's kind of how in 2012, the birth of Average Superstar Films, my film company started. And I was just making shoestring short films, like nothing super to brag about, but I started just kind of getting my feet wet. And eventually I started talking to people on the West Coast and getting them as my real help desk. And they're just like, they were brutally honest about my films, like, because I was really bragging about them. And they're like, yo, calm down with that. You don't got any home runs here. I'm like, all right, what do you want me to do? Because I can take criticism really well. So little by little, here comes my 2 film festivals out of the Trocadero, like Freedom Shorts and Liberty Massacre. I had access to all the bands for Pennsylvania Hardcore, the documentary that I did. That was like my shooting out of the cannon, the first film I ever did, which led me into the dark military. And like, David, like you were a convention guy too. Like, the Monster Manias, the Jersey Horror Cons, all those things, going to those things, hanging out after, shaking hands with people like, hey, can I do anything for you? That kind of chain reacts. And that's kind of how, leads me to this, and how I met Joe and everybody, you. Like,
no, it's absolutely wonderful. You clearly have a talent, and you clearly have a wonderful ability to network, which is the most important aspect of an independent filmmaker. When I make a movie and when I'm done and I'm editing it and I'm putting it together and I'm like, holy shit, these people are in my film or working on my soundtrack, and I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
It's funny because when I once in a while look at the Dark Military credits, like I remember, and then there's a lot I don't, and I have to kind of go back because it's so many people helped you. You know,
absolutely. It's kind of cool. You're right in Carbondale. I'm in Carbondale all the time, and I live in Milford, so we're neighbors. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm right by the stadiums, in South Jersey now. But that's my home ground. I was there for a very long time, so I'm very familiar. Like I go up to Mahoney Drive-In all the time.
I did the Weekend of Fear 2 at the Woodlands over there in Wilkes.
Yeah, the Woodlands was a place I was at a lot. When I was in my early 20s and stuff. So yeah, and then I realized that was you running those up there. I was like, Susan Nels got booked years ago. I'm like, who's running this? So that was, I just breezed your pro. I was like, oh, is this guy right here? I was like, well, small world. So
tell us a little bit about your film, Dark Military. I mean, because I've seen so much about it online. There's so much buzz about it. It's a cool flick. Tell us how it all came together, and the pitfalls and the victories you had in making it as an independent filmmaker.
It's good you said pitfalls and victories because it's definitely never a smooth ride. So basically, I was under the assumption of you can't make a movie without $1 million. So I was just like, keep marketing, keep your nose clean, stay out there. It's gonna hit. And then I started noticing over the course of time, people were making films for $50K, $100K, and they were looking gorgeous. So I just contacted some of these people. I'm like, hey, your film turned out pretty good. Could I ask what you used? And when they told me, I'm like, I have access to all that. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, all right. I was like, I want to do something. And I started thinking about we haven't had a team in a long time. I wanted girls involved. I was like, I wanted girls that, those bulky girls, girls that you don't want to mess with them. I want the presence, the physical muscle and everything. I'm like, I was like, I need this. And I visioned shadows. And it just started to snowball. I didn't have the name of the movie or the team in a while, but I started just thinking about how I wanted the first, second, and third act. I always said too, I would never do a feature that had more than 20 people in it. I'm like, it's too much to manage. Before I know it, I got over 70 cast members, and I'm like, for the Dark Military. So I totally went against everything I said I was gonna, and it all worked out. And you call in all your favors because you helped I definitely helped a lot of people with their films. So the film should have been much more expensive. I thank everybody that was involved. My cast came through. The cast, I think, was probably the key. Meaning, I was very big on doing my best to not bring any sort of drama to the set. When actors are hanging out by themselves, you don't want egos to collide. You want to have the best people that are, are just going to go bang it out and have a good time in the process. So I thought I cast that very well. I thought I kind of almost did a little bit of a money ball. Mm-hmm. There were some people like, why'd you bring this person? And I'm like, because I know how to use that person. They got an action beat and they're good people and I want to bring it out. And I would never, this is me, okay? This is me. I would never use the casting company. I don't know who's coming to my set. They may bring in better people. I don't know how they are personality-wise. And and everybody knows sometimes actors hanging around, in the green room, conversations can go south. They don't like each other. I brought a group together that gelled, and I knew they would. And, heard a couple things, but for how many people I had in that limited time, it was a home run. And we shot something straight in 8 days. A year later, I went and added some scenes, but from what we did was just I say pretty remarkable. All my goal was to shoot something with good production value, introduce new horror icons, which I did. I would have loved to have really beefed up, not that there's not, but the violence, I would have loved to beef that up more. But anybody who's ever shot a horror movie understands it's a time killer. it's a time killer. So for the sequels going forward, yeah, it's on. I won't do it without it.
That's absolutely. Sorry, Joe.
So,
Good.
an interesting fact is that Katie Walsh was in his movie, and she was also in 100 Acres of Hell.
And she was.
Oh, okay.
She was one of the only unknowns too. I said I literally brought everybody in. Someone dropped out, and another cast member, Corey Cass, who played Griffin, like he recommended her, and I just didn't have. I was literally giving the role to other actors, and they were like, "I can't shoot that day. How about you change it to this day?" And I'm like,
It doesn't quite work.
"Yeah, yeah, I'm going to revolve an entire set around you." Like, no. So, I saw something on her. Someone sent me a reel, and I was just like, I hit her up. I'm like, "You want this role? I'm going. Please don't be nuts." And she wasn't. She was a sweetheart.
So, if people don't understand the connection between that, 100 Acres of Hell had Gene Snitsky in it, Ernie O'Donnell, and some friends of the show.
Yes. The friends of the show.
It's funny because I couldn't agree with you more as far as having cancers on sets, people who just like flies in the ointment who fuck up the entire thing. And that's why as a filmmaker, I kind of found like a happy space of who I like to work with. And that's why, like Brian shows up in my movies and Scott. And Stephen Jeffries is another great guy who I like to work with. And then when you have when you have people that you're comfortable with, it allows you to be artistic. It allows you to that damn Rick Derris. Yeah. It allows you to be comfortable and to be more creative together. In fact, when I shot with Scott Jaffo a couple weeks ago, we sat down and even though the entire scene was on paper, we sat down and we talked about how the dynamic between us as characters would resonate the best with the movie. So I totally understand what you're saying there, and it's really a cool.
And you definitely know too, like once you become like in a director role, and in my case, I do film festivals and stuff. The bigger you opportunity that you put out there, you get more. I always say you get the zombies coming in the mall. Like you get everybody coming for you. Like, hey, can I get my film in the film festival? Can I be in your film? This and that. You have to always be ready that like you're gonna get backlash. And one of the things about the Dark Military is I cold called people. As I wrote stuff, I was just like, I'm calling you. This is I got a role for you. It's already yours. So I had a lot of people hit me up and say, I missed your casting call. And I'm like, no, you didn't. I didn't have a casting call. I was like, I handpicked them. And they'd be like, well, why didn't you pick me? And I'd be like, well, remember 2 years ago, you came to a set and we did that scene for, such and such. Like, yeah, like, remember you came over and told me you were drunk and this is funny? I was like, I didn't find that funny. You did a scene with me. This person hired us to be professional actors. And, you didn't take it seriously. Like, yeah, but Lord, I wouldn't do that to you. Be like, this is the fact that you did that. Like, I will never use you. I have nothing against you. But, like, just like that, someone's written off. But, like, I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat nothing. I'm going to let you know this is why I didn't hire you. If there's a situation like that.
No, I totally understand. I also want to take a minute out, and this is totally off base for a second. My daughter, who's in college, has a friend of hers who's a big fan of film and independent films, and a big fan of the Clerks guys, and hopefully will become a big fan of this show and of films in general. I just want to say shout out to Matthew Sweet. Hi, Matthew. And Loren, say hello to Matthew Sweet. He's a nice couple.
Hello, Matthew Sweet. glad to join the show here.
Yep. So I see. I've seen online recently that you got involved with another film that where the guys are dear friends of the show. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the Terrifier 2.
Okay, so yes, I helped those guys out. Basically, what happened was when I was editing The Dark Military with my editor, an unsung hero of the dark military, Stephen Carino. I just noticed it was just like, I was telling everyone, I work a real world job. I always say, don't depend on independent film to pay your mortgage. So when I would get out, when I get done in the daytime, as he would, I would shoot to his house because he was my editor as well. We'd be going through all the footage. So you didn't really have much of a life. But when I would stroll a wall, I kept seeing this clown. That's all I kept seeing was like reviews, like this amazing film, you know, the new face of horrors here. And I'm like, I kept kind of dismissing it, but I was also dismissing everything. I was just like, let's get this edit done. So finally, I'm like, what is this clown? It's in my face. So I finally took a look at the film, and I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, he's got, you know, the presence of art. It's just out of the ballpark. And I was also still doing my once a month show at the time up at Princeton Television with Adam Bierman. And, you know, Adam always trusted me about bringing guests in. And I started seeing the guy who plays Art the Clown, David Howard Thornton. He was doing all these podcasts. And, you know, I'm not trying to flex muscle on anyone, but some of these things were really choppy. It was just not the best quality. And I'm like, I think this guy's actually gettable. I wouldn't see why he would do these shows and not mine. I was like, I'm just going to write him on Facebook. I'm sure his inbox is like full. I'm never going to hear from him. And he wrote back to me in seconds. So I sent him, I was like, hey, I run a show. I'd love to have you on. And I sent him a link, and he's like, sure, when? So we met, me and my producer, Stephen Carino, we met him at he took the train down to Princeton and at this Chain React. And then from there, I met Damien, then I started meeting all the team. And then Damien's like, we're doing part 2. I was like, awesome. First off, what role do I have in your movie? And I was like, in second. I was like, can I do anything for the film? So it was mostly shot in New York and in Jersey, but there is a Philadelphia location, which is the Fright Factory, which is right behind, right next to the ECW arena behind Tony Luke's. I helped land that location, and not spoiling the movie in any way, but that's where the final scene takes place.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And the reason they also trust me is they saw all my work from the dark military. Was it? Because, I mean, people hit you up all the time when you have like the golden ticket. I mean, that Terrifier, I'm telling you, it's huge. When you go to conventions, like you always say like the Jason, Freddie, Michael, like art's on the rise. I'm telling you, they're doing everything right. They're humble. They're all great guys. I root for them. But like, you know, Damon could have just shoved me off like everybody else that's right. But, you know, he brought me aboard. So I have a small part where I play the DJ, and that's my part where I help land a location.
You know,
David, I was just going to say, I don't remember. Did you do the Terrifier panel with us when we did the online convention?
I don't think so. I was not.
No. David, I was at. I'm
sorry,
David
was doing. Yeah.
We did the Terrifier panel with us when we had all the guys from Terrifier on there. It was spectacular.
Well, I'm going to drop something that's going to blow everybody who's watching's mind. In a film, Art the Clown and Vulgar the Clown appear together in an upcoming film. So I'm just going to drop that right now and leave it at that. And you guys will have to just wait and see. But that's going to that's happened. So be that as it may, Mr. Ridgely is I heard that.
Nope. No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
Don't listen to me.
We got Brandon with a statement.
Okay.
Well, you're supposed to read that because I'm blind as a bat without the freaking.
The Terrifier crew actually are next level, unlike some in the Phillywood world. These guys rock. Great interview so far, my friend. There you go.
Brandon, I will give you a high five for that wording. Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of David Howard Thornton's, and he's an extremely humble guy, and very, very, very easy to work with, and you know, just keep an eye out for cool stuff.
I can't even count how many times we've had him on in the past 4 years or 5 years. It's
I assume he'll be on our Christmas.
And they're very accessible to the fans, and that's a big thing. And just across the board, no matter what type of film you have, like there's so many films I've been in that the directors doesn't in any way, shape, or form like push the film. They don't go on podcasts. They don't talk to fans. It's just like they put the film out, and it's just like a mantle to them, and then they expect like I don't know, just gasoline's going to hit the film and it's going to spread. Like, I just think it's very important as a filmmaker, especially if you're the director. I mean, you got to get out there. I mean, you got to get out there. You got to try things.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
We're independent. We have no money behind our films besides what you pay out of pocket, you know?
And any fans of Art the Clown and David's, make sure you go to YouTube and check him out as the Joker. Really good stuff.
Isn't it? Yeah. He's just, he reminds me of a young Robert Englund, because you would never think of Robert Englund as one of the most horrific horror characters of all time. So he's wonderful. Loren, tell us a little bit about what you have coming up in the future.
Okay, so the last thing I did, and it was displayed right here with Mr. Ridgely about a year ago. I put out a quarantine film, and I knew I had to get there fast. I just knew there was going to be a million of these things coming. So I ended up doing a quarantine film called COVID 2024. You can put that in on YouTube. It's free. Check it out. But that's the last thing I did, and that was in June. And the reason was, a lot of us were shut down. Like I was scared to put money in anything that would be, things that would backfire. There was a friend of mine's film, which doesn't matter. I don't remember its name at all, but we were filming that. I had a decent role in that. That film's done. It's never going to happen again because the crew's that petrified to come back to work still. I mean, so I can't tell people, hey, whatever you want to do. If you want to wear a mask the rest of your life, even though you're vaccinated, that's you. But I need to get back into this. So what I've been doing is I started a podcast called Average Superstar TV. I already got like a like page on Facebook and Instagram. I have not pushed it yet because I've yet to have an episode dropped. But I've been pre-recording all of them, and when I feel I have enough of them, which might actually be by next Monday, I will start releasing them Monday mornings at 5:30 a.m. And that'll be a weekly show. That'll be wrestling, filmmaking, anything that I remotely find interesting that I think an audience will like. That'll be hosted by me. So that will be part one. So the second is I'm looking to do an anthology. And I got a strong story, and I'm looking to start shooting that immediately in the winter. And that'll be a minimal cast, minimal crew. And I will be talking to other directors from around the country and the world about piecing something together. Basically, nothing. I'm not reinventing the wheel. It's something like VHS, kind of how that was done, or 10. Everybody else that put something together like that, but I want to always be busy. I never want to be this dormanted again. The only thing good about this dormanted is the real world job. It made a whole lot of money, which made budget. So that's a good thing. And but I didn't mind the break, for like 2 months. And then after that, I was like, God, I really miss film. So, and I'm also going to be bringing the Dark Military back next year. It will not be a sequel. A sequel will, I do plan to happen someday, but for all the Dark Military fans, yes, you will see them next year with some new characters and a continuance of the story.
That's very awesome. I'm very glad to hear that. One last question I have for you, and this is a question that I like to ask all independent filmmakers because it's actually an important question. If a young, totally inexperienced filmmaker came to you and asked you for one piece of solid advice, what would you tell them?
Basically, how can I word this right? Try to get the best help desk that you could possibly get. And what I mean by help desk, make sure this person's experienced and not all talk. Mm-hmm. Meaning, they got actual distribution, and that if you Google their name, some things come up. And another big thing is this anything in life too, but I have to put it. Don't be afraid to take risks. And the bigger you get, you better be ready because you're going to gain a lot of great fans, a lot of great support. And at the other end, you're going to have people pulling you down. So like you need to be able to be strong enough to praise one world and be bulletproof on the other. And anyone's talking down to you, never give them the time of day, never address it. And if you can't take any criticism on the independent level, what are you going to do if you make a list? So you got to be able to shake things off. And don't be afraid. Like, if you're going to make a decision that might upset someone, I'm not talking about trying to hurt someone, but someone else close to you might not like that decision, but it's going to benefit you. You have to do what's best for you.
Absolutely. Loren, where can people find you on viral out there virally and to follow you?
You can look me up. My name's right here on Facebook and Instagram and AverageSuperstarFilms.com for my entire catalog. Everything I've ever done is on AverageSuperstarFilms.com. And you can watch The Dark Military and Pennsylvania Heart for free on Tubi and Exumo and Amazon. Check it out. It's all free.
That's awesome. Loren, thank you. You're an absolutely awesome guest. You're an awesome guy. Thank you when I was working on my quarantine film for reaching out and helping me with that. You're just a top-notch guy. Everybody in the independent community knows of you and has nothing but the utmost respect for you. And thank you for joining us on the end of the night tonight.
Thank you. And anyone else out there that's looking for good-looking actors, I prefer to act over anything and not be in charge. So I'm always up for that too.
Thank you, Loren. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, a Merry Christmas, a wonderful holiday season. And if you ever have any news that you need to drop on the show, you are always welcome on. Thank you, Loren.
Having me on, boys.
Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Well, what a great guy.
Nice.
What a great guy, a smart, it's just so nice to have such smart independent filmmakers. It's nice to see that the independent film world is in the hands of people who are passionate, B, smart, and C, hustle. And if any independent filmmaker ever asked me for a piece of advice, the most important thing I can tell anybody out there who's starting in the world of filmmaking, hello, Jason, in the world of filmmaking is go out and get a real fucking skill, become a plumber, because this shit is just lame. But be that as it may, from what I understand, word just came in my earpiece that we have a very familiar face. It's an old face. A face that we haven't seen.
Wow.
It's an old. No, I don't mean old in like it's old like he's an old like an old person. I mean it's just we haven't seen it in such a long time. We may not be able to recognize this face, but let's just, ladies and gentlemen, gracing us with his venerable presence, the lovely and super talented Grunkle Scott Schiaffo. Grunkle Scott, look at that. How are you, brother?
How
Your
are
face
you,
does not look that old.
So nice to see you boys. Hey, that cat was wonderful. I only caught the tail 10 minutes because I literally just walked in, and that's the God's honest truth. Just dragged down the stairs. He had some great...
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Grunkle Scott, but I mean...
I heard the vulgar thing.
I drove you... did you hear any about that over the weekend or no?
No, I just heard that now.
Okay.
Vulgar thing.
Or you might have been with somebody who was involved in that. That's why I was curious. I don't know if you remember, but I myself might have driven you home from Saratoga Comic-Con. So, I'm pretty sure I know what time you came in.
Yeah. Well, O'Halloran had to drop me off in River Edge, full disclosure, because now the new pecking order is the pickup and drop off is River Edge, which is about 25 minutes. Well, you've been to River Edge.
I have.
Right, so that's a new rig. And then I got to try to come alive, hop in the car and get to this dungeon. And then I literally, about 20 after 10, I'm thinking, I'll pop them on and I'll catch some of the stuff. And Jewel texted me and said, hey, they were wondering if you're around. And I really did want to say hello. I didn't want to go in. That was a really spirited interview. I really enjoyed the last 10 minutes I caught. Some great advice. Taking risks. I mean, any great artist takes risks and really has to fail. You take a risk and fail, and you take a risk and fail. And he had a lot of good stuff to say. I'm fried though because it was 2 shows in less than 3 or 4 weeks, and they were pretty big. Everybody's coming out of that post pandemic madness, and I'm just shocked at how, David, you were very much missed at Saratoga. It
Oh.
was you were everybody was asking about you, the vendors, and because everybody up there. Rhode Island was a mind blower. That was just nuts. And hey, dudes. So it's nice to see you guys. I'm glad I could pop on and say hello. And I'm looking forward to future shows. What else can you catch me up on?
Well, there was supposed to be, over the 2 shows that you missed because of conventions, a Hideous Mook was supposed to sit in and co-host with us. But tonight, oddly enough, she got arrested in Salem, Massachusetts, flying. Yeah, that's Tiffany Shepis, as everybody knows. Was flying her broom way too fast. She was doing 69 in a 65 zone, and she got pulled over, and she couldn't make it. But you know what? I'm pretty sure she blew us off both times because she never, ever, ever wants to understudy for somebody who's prettier than she is. And Scott, we both know that you are prettier than she is. So,
woo-hoo-hoo! I think I sense a pattern though. There's definitely a pattern. I think she's yanking the crank, right? Is that what's happening? She likes to break your chops.
I guess so. She tells me she's coming on, and then
Well,
I guess I guess
like
every woman I've ever met in my life, I scare them away.
Well, now we know that's not true with your lovely wife. So,
oh, there you go. In that case, I just pay well.
Speaking of hideous chuds, that hideous chud is probably still on the road because I haven't heard from him because he dropped me off in River Edge and he's going out to your neck of the woods, and I haven't heard from him. I hope he's okay, and I get a little worried if I don't hear from him after he drops me off, just like with you. But
I assure you, it's like Michael Myers. Evil never dies. He'll be fine. Don't worry.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
So was there any love for Full Moon Fever up in Saratoga?
There were a lot of questions. I was asked that by numerous people. They saw the
like,
post.
Why the fuck are you doing that movie? No,
no, they asked about how much I could talk about, which I can't because I really don't. Like most good filmmakers, you only gave me the sides that I'm a part of. And when you're a character actor and you're a supporting actor, you don't have to worry about the NDA stuff as much if you literally don't know what's on the rest of the pages. So we do know it's a pretty moody werewolf film. That's about as much as I'm able to really share, and that I'll probably be working on some elements of post. But it's getting out there, and Halloween Kills was not a bad film. I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm sorry, CJ. You're just patently wrong. The movie sucked.
Wait a minute, CJ. When does evil die?
It died when Donald Pleasance did, actually, the entire franchise.
Well, wait a minute. He made an appearance.
What do you mean?
In the new film.
Oh, yeah. That's sacrilegious.
I haven't seen it. It's really bad.
I thought it was, but I'm a very tough critic, so don't listen to me. So how did you have a good time? Well, another thing I wanted to ask you. Our show's like family. What's your Thanksgiving plans, Mr. Schiaffo?
It's going to be small and quiet, basically. We've got me, Jules' mom, who needs a lot of our assistance.
Well, let me put it out there right now, and this is honestly, brutally sincere. If the 3 of you want to come up and have a lovely country Thanksgiving in my home, you guys are more than welcome to join us.
Evil Dies Tonight should have been the title. Thank you. And, I think Pragmatics is going to make that decision. Doris really can't.
I never liked that Pragmatics guy. He's always fucks things up. Joey
Pragmatics gets in the way. He always throws a monkey wrench in. There's Jewel Carey Werner.
Yeah. I'm deadly sincere, Carrie. I would love to have you guys. We have an enormous 16-foot Thanksgiving table, and
there's a 16-foot turkey.
Lots of turkey. Only if O'Halloran comes.
Well, see, or you guys can all come down here and we eat Thanksgiving on the water at my parents' house, and they have the boat right there. Go for a booze cruise afterwards, or just orange juice afterwards.
Apparently, Jason thinks I'm from WKRP in Cincinnati because he thinks I'm
the
dropping
turkey.
turkeys from the.
And yes, we're old enough to remember that. Thank you for pointing that out, Jason.
Where has he been? I miss Jason. He's a cool cat. We
I
should.
agree. He should start doing stuff for the Indie Escape Network.
You know what? If you're free and you don't look like a hideous mook and you want the link and want to come on, just say yes and we'll say hello to you quickly, Jason, because you're an awesome guy.
What did I do to you?
What?
No, I'm kidding.
Well, we know you're a hideous mook.
Well, this is true.
Did you hear, Scott, that Mr. Ridgely over here has got a new puppy?
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
Yes, the wife and daughter went down to West Palm last weekend and adopted a shepherd mix, mixed with hound who likes to howl, who's being crate trained and is not enjoying it.
Wow, is that
No.
dog? That sounds like a breed that will get really big.
We're thinking 40 to 65 pounds.
Oh, it's going to be it's a sizable animal.
Yes,
Nice.
yes, indeed.
Woo!
It goes well with my daughter's Chihuahua.
Oh, you have a little guy? Really? Or are you joking with me? Yeah. Wow.
No, my daughter has a Chihuahua as well.
That's beautiful. I love all animals. I really do. I'm a little more partial to cats now that I'm an old man, but and I don't really want to do the walking anymore. I was the designated dog walker for a lot of years, and not having that anymore. But I do love all animals, and there were actually a number of service dogs at the conventions this year, which I don't remember seeing that many in the past. There were a number of them, and a lot of them, believe it or not, were in cosplay. It was crazy. They had a Captain America dog walking around, and they had a Dracula dog walking around, and it was wacky. It was like, but they were service animals.
Hey, Scott, do me a favor. There's a young gentleman who goes to college with my daughter who's a big Clark's fan. His name is Matthew Sweet. Throw him out some love.
Whoa, Matthew Sweet, how are you, sir? Thank you
Did I
so
just
much
say
for
this from
supporting
Matthew
the
Sweet?
Clerks franchise. Nice.
Is he on there?
No, I was looking to see if I missed a question or statement.
Oh, no. I don't think he's chiming in.
Okay. Gotcha.
He's a shy college kid. You know how they are these days.
Hounds are amazing buddies. I agree. We were told that she was crate trained to begin with. She's 10 weeks old, and she only goes to the crate at night to go to bed. And sometimes she's okay. Sometimes she wants to howl for an hour or so.
The same could be said about my wife. I don't know. I'm in a goofy mood tonight. I apologize.
You goofy. I'm losing my mind. This is the most awake time I've had in 2 weeks again yet. I'm not a morning person. And
Well, Scott, how long is it? Like 12-hour days at these conventions?
Well, Saratoga actually, the days are longer than I remember in terms of the starting time. They started. The VIPs come in at 9:30, and we didn't have our full setup done the night before because of some technical problems. So we, that's 8 o'clock. An 8 o'clock morning for me is an early morning, and then
There's my buddy.
oh,
The doof.
what a sweepy!
He looks kind of evil right now.
Yeah, he doesn't look too thrilled to be there.
Oh, but he's not fighting you.
No, he's a good boy. He'll swallow my soul later.
They were pretty. Well, Saturday was a pretty long day because it started really early, and then they start. 7 was the cutoff, but then there's a lot of parties and wackiness going on afterwards, and then Sunday's a blur. But it was another early start, and I don't know how guys like Madison and O'Halloran do it when they're the wheelman.
They have regular schedules.
I'm burnt just being a passenger. Although, now that I've been doing the River Edge drop off and then having to drive myself back to my man cave dungeon, it's like when I get in the car, I get this crazy second wind, and all of a sudden I'm fine. It's weird. I'm thinking like, there's no way I could drive, and then all of a sudden I'm good to go.
Damn it, Dave.
I'm like Blofeld here, just petting my pussy on national TV. Hello, pussy.
Dave,
Don't you kiss me.
yeah, I had to open this can of worms, huh?
Oh, there
Hey,
he
there
is.
There he is.
I missed that face. How the hell are you, brother?
Do you miss my fuzzy face? How are you?
I do.
You fine
I just-
gentleman.
I just want you to go, hey, can I don't even know how that song goes. That damn Black Crow song. It would have been funny if I remembered the fucking line, but I screw shit up all the time.
It's all right. Just trying to remember the closing words of the WKRP song because the guy made it up the entire time, and you can find a YouTube video that has the lyrics on there, and it's like boot farts and all sorts of other little words shoved together. But we love it
Nice.
nonetheless.
What are you doing on Thanksgiving? I hope you're spending that day with that handsome son of yours.
Yeah, we're shoving turkeys out of helicopters. Did we not cover that already? I mean, like it's like stacks of wet cement. Because that celebrates the true spirit of giving thanks in America today. Is turkeys out of helicopters.
It's not Thanksgiving in the Madison household until Snoopy fights the lawn chair, which is one of my favorite scenes in all of Peanuts specials.
Of peanutdom. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you guys aren't familiar with the Thanksgiving special. You're all looking at me like,
It's been years and years. It was always the Great Pumpkin and the Christmas special.
The Thanksgiving one never really got the
attention
the
it
legs.
deserved.
it never had the controversy that the others did either, you know.
Well, if you recall, though, it was funny because it's the episode that where they served them toast, pretzel sticks,
and candy or something.
and jelly beans, and Snoopy's in charge of putting the Thanksgiving table out, and he's clearing out the garage and fights with a lawn chair. It's how I don't know. I'm getting sad and old and pathetic. Jason, just put me out of my misery already, will you?
No,
Please.
not at all. Not at all. We're just going to no, it'll be fine. I have ideas.
I need them. I need all the help I can get.
We can do that. We have if we have enough pixie sticks, we can make it happen.
You know what I would love to see one day?
I have
A
no idea what it is.
collaboration between Jason and Scott, the two musicians here.
I'm not a
That would be
musician.
cool.
I'm just a drummer. It's a different thing. Okay, I don't do much, dude. I just I hit things.
Without
There
a
you
good
go.
drummer, you have no vibe. So I'm sure you're super important in every band you've ever been in, man.
So John Wayne Caldwell didn't know that turkeys can fly. Turkeys can't fly? Is that the truth?
I don't know. Don't they like drown if they look up in the rain?
I have no idea. Like when I'm I live up in the sticks of Pennsylvania, and when I see them on the road, I speed up to run them over, and they go blah 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 blah, and they yell at me. But
Oh, you were going to have the animal rights activist after
I'm
you
kidding.
now?
I was just 2 seconds ago kissing my pussy. So you think I kill turkeys? Stop. It
You
was a
don't
joke.
kill them, you taunt them.
I taunt the turkey. I'm
I
a
mean,
turkey.
come on, they're getting pardoned at the White House.
I'm a turkey taunter.
Turkey taunter.
I actually think that's a true fact. I think that's true. I don't think they can fly.
No,
Jewel
they can.
Carey.
I mean, if you drop anything out of the helicopter, technically it will fly.
Yeah, for a moment or two.
It'll
Yeah,
drop.
I mean, it doesn't have to be pretty. There's no choreography involved, but fuck it. I mean, like a sack of wet cement. It's graceful.
Thank you, Brandon, for the kind words. I know you're lying through your teeth. I think John Wayne was talking that it was a line from the WKRP, something about the birds flying. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to say that just to not make it awkward. Like
Oh,
it
that
doesn't-
made it look like doing lines, but whatever.
What?
WKRP.
Dude, I would rip a giant fat rail with Dr. Johnny Fever at any moment in time, like right now.
But
You know what's-
would you
Like
do it
tomorrow
with
at my
him
marketing meeting
when he
whatever.
was at the head of the class?
Yeah, I mean that was cool. I mean, he was also the police, captain in Police Academy 2. Not of the
That guy
academy,
was
but of the
way-
precinct.
He was way more edgy and funny than a lot of the roles he ended up in.
Was that Howard Hessman? Do I have the right name?
Right? Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Dr. Johnny.
I was more of a Mary Tyler Moore guy, so I don't know.
Those '70s guys, man. Things
Yes,
were
David
crazy.
still has the hat.
No, now he's gonna get it. Oh,
It's my Red Reddington hat. Look how serious this shit. Look at that.
wow.
What a stylish son of a bitch.
Damn, I almost need to get a haircut to get a hat like that.
I really want to watch Kolchak right now. Suddenly, I don't know why.
Kolchak.
I hope you mean the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
Sure. If it
Yeah.
is.
Well, David's a huge fan of his, especially when in the Christmas Story.
Yes, yes. I'll be spending it. I'll be spending Christmas Eve at his house again.
Sons of bitches.
The salesman.
I have that prestigious award around here somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Turkeys can and do fly. Okay, so I guess I was wrong. I thought they couldn't.
We're just a fountain of information here on.
You know,
Damn
come
you,
on.
National Geographics.
Nobody has seen a flying. I've never seen a flying turkey.
So Jay, are you working on any films right now?
A whole lot of writing. Still waiting for Kill Giggles to come out from Hollywood to just shoot it, to drop it out of a helicopter, if you would, to keep up with the the parlance of the motif. But yeah, no, a whole lot of writing, and just waiting for magic to happen.
Okay.
So if you need pizza delivery stoner guy number 2 to make
You're
a cameo,
the man.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to be number 1 because that's too much pressure. But like
Lauren is number
walk out and
2.
do a
You
really
would
good
have to be number 1.
I was
No,
actually
no.
thinking
That's
of
too much.
rebooting My Dinner with Andre and giving you Wallace Shawn's role.
Nice.
Oh,
No, I'm down.
these kids don't know who Andy Kaufman is, and
Inconceivable.
Speaking of kids, in the Q&A this weekend, I was asked a question about a certain line reading from Clerks. And now, granted, it was a good crowd, which was nice. And they asked me if there's any of the lines from my particular character that I drew inspiration from a different character from. And the answer was actually no, but there's a couple lines that the Chulies Gum guy says that were very Ralph Cramden. I'm a disturbance. You're the disturbance, pal. Crickets. Like none like the millennials and whatnot.
wow,
Nobody.
no
like,
honeymooners,
who
no
that- Ralph Cramden scratching the noodle. I was like, okay, next question.
pow.
I am
right to the
dying out
bone.
there.
Well, they probably thought the kid from The Simpsons. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. And someone like,
It's a generation that grew up wearing Crocs, Scott. There's no
Well,
hope.
you know, the thing is, man, like
ugh.
Cramden was ancient when I was a kid, so I get it. They probably don't even know what the honeymoon
Isn't there
is
still
like.
like a honeymooners marathon every Thanksgiving? Like 24
There is,
hours
but
of
I'm
honey?
sure nobody under 60 watches it.
No,
Yeah,
no
I mean,
more.
Well, come on,
Okay.
it was on Nick at Night all the time. That's
Also,
or-
there's no excusing Crocs. Like, at all. Ever. No. Just fucking no. If you're not going to wear a mask and not use your fucking turn signals, you're not allowed to wear Crocs. You can't have all 3. You have to pick 2 and just get rid of 1.
It horrifies me because when my daughter was going to colleges to choose a college, all the young men in colleges wear Crocs with sweat socks underneath them.
Why?
And I'm like,
Why? Why?
I don't know.
Well, I know of this thing, and it's down in Florida too. And the kids wear flip flops that they refer to as slides, and wear gym socks with them.
Really?
So yes, it's a thing down here as
All
well.
right, that's it. I'm bringing back the 80s male crop top. You guys with me? No, if they can pull that stupid shit off, I mean, I can bring back the crop top and like the tricolor tube socks.
No, wait, I had one. I had the half shirt with the Ghostbuster symbols on it when I was like 7. So
We should have like Indie Escape socks. That's all I'm saying. And then like shorts,
I
a
like it.
headband. See, they're into it.
Tube tops, I like.
See, I'm just saying two tops. Yeah, crop tops. We could rock that shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what this network needs is a whole bunch of merchandise to sell.
leg warmers,
Yes.
crop tops,
Coffee mugs.
sweatbands.
That's a blame Uncle Scott.
White
think-
crosses and mini thins. We could market those, and then like
I-
give you up for late night podcasts.
Uncle Scott could definitely sport a sweatband and some. What were they called on the wrists? Same. Were they sweatbands for the
Well, we
wrists?
could give him the crop top, but we could bedazzle it because it's very dark in there. So it's like you would be able to see it, but it would still be, I mean, like just moodily lit.
Chulies, not Cherry's gum. Come on, John, you're better than that, pal.
Oh, he's thinking of that stupid '80s song that the guy was drinking cherry wine.
Oh, yeah.
Don't justify that, Joe. Autocorrect only buys you so many photos. No.
You know
Yeah,
what? I want to thank all you gentlemen for always being wonderful guys. Thank you for popping on, Jason. And Grunkle
I was
Scott
happy
looks
to
like
pop off on you.
uh,
I mean, pop on in you with
I'll
all
pop
three of
on
you.
in.
To pop in all of you at once, I'm happy to do so.
sadly, I'll walk like a cowboy for the rest of the week. With that being said, let's let poor Grunkle Scott get some rest because he looks very tired. Jay, is there anything you would like to say? Do you have any appearances or work or viral stuff that you want people to know before we let you go? Festivals, anything cool?
I have no viruses, and I have to go to work tomorrow. So I mean, yay! I'm living the dream. We made a movie and then we gave it to Hollywood, and it's sitting on someone's shelf somewhere. So it's like making magic happen. Don't stop believing.
See,
Yeah.
and this is David's point exactly. This is what happens when you don't go to Film Hub.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, this is exactly what happens when you don't go to Pornhub. I agree 100% with.
And where's your
like-
merch page and your website?
Well, the merch is over there on my couch, and then
What's the page? The page. What page?
yes, madonesfilms.com, and everything social media / Mad Ones Films, except for Instagram, which is the Mad Ones Films, because I forgot the password, and the cunts wouldn't let me log back in again, so I had to make it the Mad Ones Films, which makes it sound so much more important. So it's all over there, and then we have a CB radio handle, which is Clown Killer 666. And then we're hoping for that again, that aforementioned cameo in Full Moon Fever as Pizza's delivery guy number 2, where I walk by and go, whoa.
So these kids don't know who Ralph Cramden is, but he's going to think that they know what a ham radio is.
I would never disrespect you and give you a cameo, my friend. And let me give you this one piece of true advice.
A nugget.
I handed in Mr. Hush in October of 2010 to Kino Lorber, and it didn't come out till August of 2012. So keep your chin up. These things usually take a while.
Yeah, no, everyone keeps telling me that that's just, that's the way the system is, and that's just the way the business is, and that's just the way it is. And I think the way it is needs to change. So I'm trying to figure out how to foment a revolution.
No,
but at the same time, like, I'm really busy, and it's a lot of work. And you got to file like a fucking LLC, and it's just like shit. You just want stuff to change, but it's just like you just want the idea, and then you want someone else to do it. So we're soliciting, I guess, interns or what have you. Serfs. Do people do serfdom anymore? Is that still a thing? It seems like it should be a thing.
I have no idea what you're talking
Serfdom and fiefdom, and this like medieval hierarchy. I mean, we're not really that far removed, are we, at this point?
I'm still wondering who Ralph Cramden is.
We're fucking monkeys with clubs and like villages and stuff, but okay, that's cool.
With that
We
being
could make
said,
a whole episode out of this one time. I'm telling you.
with that being said, Jason, thank you for popping on. Happy Thanksgiving, and continue to be a great dad, because that's what I think is the coolest part of you. You and your son always put up awesome pictures online that look like you guys are always having a blast. So good for you, brother.
It's always him. I'm the monkey lucky enough to hold the camera.
And we're looking forward to your future show.
Jason's film. I would bet my goatee on the fact that your film and your art is probably timeless. So don't worry about, you did it, you got it, you're happy, you've got something in what you want to call in the can, however you want to say. If it's taken time to get some legs and get distributed, I'm sure once it's out, it'll find its audience and it'll resonate, because you really are a pretty interesting cat, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It means a lot to me.
I mean that wholeheartedly. I just throw that kind of stuff around. Not that I'm a kingmaker, but
not at all. But if I'm going to trust anybody, it's going to be you guys. I'm not going to trust those fuckers.
Yeah, no. The people that think they're tastemakers are really the knuckleheads, and you put the work in, you put your heart in it, you put the passion in.
We also kill clowns, like literally.
People who
dead fucking clowns, but I mean, it's
make something that is of a timely nature are people who are making something disposable. I mean, if it's referencing something that just happens to be hot this week or whatever,
That's actually a very wise. Yeah, that's a good thing. You're right.
I'm sure.
Mark this day on the calendar. Schiaffo was right about something.
Yahoo.
Just so happen to have Google Calendars up. Thank you.
There you go.
I wish I had a
On that
keytar.
note, I'm going to go get medicated. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Actually, I'm not. No, I'm going to take my night meds, and then I'm going to call my night nurse.
Scott,
which is Julie.
Scott, can you stay on for 90 more seconds?
Yeah, we'll get rid of Jason if he's like, being a pain in the
Jason,
ass.
thank you so much for coming on, brother. You're always welcome, and I can't wait for your show comes on so I could pop on and you can make fun of me. And
On the Indie Escape,
on the
Jason.
Indie Escape.
And no
what is
pressure.
that? What is? I sense there's some kind of rub. Does he not want to put his show out on your network now? Oh no!
Yeah, and Jason isn't one not to put out.
Oh man, it's like being back at the skate barn all over again. Yeah,
But-
but yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm going through a tunnel, so I'm going to lose you guys here in just
We'll talk soon.
Take care.
yes.
Happy
Sure.
Thanksgiving, brother.
All right,
Good
bye,
night,
gentlemen.
man. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, before we go, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody who watches this show regularly. Susie, CJ, Sean, the lovely Carrie Werner, the John Wayne Cole's on all the time, Libby McDermott, Matt Staley, Brandon is on all the time. Who am I forgetting? Anybody? The lovely and talented Luciana, who is just a beautiful woman. Man, you're all vicious. I'm not vicious.
Man, y'all vicious. Dude, you are trying to gun down turkeys with your car. How is that not vicious?
I hope you understand that I have an expensive car and I wouldn't hit a stupid turkey with it.
Maybe multiple turkeys.
I saved that strictly for Republicans. Hi, Francesca. I hope you're well. Everybody, with that being said, we're not going to get into a long, wordy goodbye. I just want to thank Joe and Scott, all kidding aside, on this Thanksgiving when I'm sitting at home with my family. And we're going to sit down and have a lovely Thanksgiving dinner, and we reflect upon what we're thankful for. I'm going to honestly reflect about being thankful for having guys like you in my life. Joe, you're a great friend, a great co-host, and a great producer. Scott, you are a great friend, a great co-host, and just a great guy. I love having you guys be a part of my show and a part of my life. And with that being said, and do you guys have anything you want to say before we sign off before
Yes,
Thanksgiving?
ladies and gentlemen who are watching right now, please don't forget to like and subscribe to David Lee Madison's The End of the Night on Facebook. Also, The Indie Escape on Facebook and YouTube. It would be greatly appreciated. Doesn't cost you anything. Does us a world of great.
Yes. With that being said, everybody have a very, very happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Love to you and your families. And we will see you guys back here next Sunday at 10 p.m. with another jam-packed hour of stupidity that you can only find here, because if you want stupid, nobody does it better than us. Good night, everybody. Oh, the lovely Camden Toy. Happy Thanksgiving, Camden. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Good night, everybody.